Okay, so good evening, everyone. We're welcoming you to the Southern Nevada Enterprise Community Meeting. Thank you for coming out. We're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. I believe we have a quorum. Could you please call the roll?
Yes. Chair Neal.
Here.
Vice Chair Barlow.
Here.
Member Wheatley. Excused. Member Goins-Brown.
Here.
Member Atkinson.
He's here.
Member Young. Excused. Member Summers-Armstrong. Member Hambrick.
Present.
And Member Broom.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, are we in compliance with the open meeting law?
Yes, we are.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and open up for public comment. During this portion of the agenda, matters must be limited to the action, the item that's on the agenda, which is the Southern Nevada Enterprise Economic Development Plan. Any single speaker is allowed, but you have a 3-minute time period in order to make your comments. Are there any members who would like to come to the table for open for public comment on the Southern Nevada Economic Development Plan? Could you please state your name, first and last, for the record, please?
Stanley Walker.
Yeah, press it.
Stanley Walker. I have a question to Senator Neal. Been some feedback that the environment for the 78th legislature is one that is not friendly toward the SNEC board at all, and that they're really waiting to go ahead and move to eliminating the board. Have you heard anything on that? Can you give us some feedback on that at all? Because if so, that means everything we would be doing tonight would be delayed going up, if that's really what the deal is. So I'm not really sure. So for the benefit of the room, if you know anything about that, you probably start the evening off there.
I have not heard that at all. I think what is a confusing statement is that the last legislative session in 2013, legislation was brought forward and it did not pass because they didn't see that there was any growth or action from the 2007 SNEC legislative committee that had been created under the then Senator Horsford, who then became Congressman Horsford, and that after the 2013 session that there was action by me as a chair and this board to do something that was sustainable and tangible to show that there is growth and a need to maintain this legislative committee to deal with specific issues in those overlapping regional boundaries.
To answer the questions, the board ain't going nowhere.
So are there any additional public comment? Please state your name first and last for the record.
John Johnson for the record. I was looking over the plans you guys put together. Two things stood out that I wanted clarification on. One of the opportunities that it says...
Can you read, Chairman? Could you please have the speaker speak up a little? I cannot hear you.
So the question that I have goes towards page 9 under opportunities. It says police becoming more involved in community to reduce crime, and then residents becoming more involved to reduce crime. Speaking specifically for the historical West Side District, especially between Adams and F Street and Adams and G Street, you know, there's a lot of drug sales, a lot of prostitution going on there. I had a conversation with the sheriff who directed me to one of the sergeants in that area, and when we were talking, he said it's been 7 years since he's been in that district, and he's seen the same problem in that same area. So really, besides saying that you guys are going to do something, I wonder what are the steps that you guys are going to take to start, addressing those issues.
So, to address that comment, we stated that opportunity because we feel that that is something that we can further navigate and enhance that relationship because it's not as strong as it should be. I believe the Bolden Area Command consistently tries to still do their community meetings on Tuesday in order to address first Tuesdays in order to address crime and specific issues in the area, and they've been doing that for over 8 to 9 years. And so the reason why this is called the SWOT analysis, the reason why it's listed as an opportunity is because this means that this is something that we can grow. This is something that we can strengthen, and it is an opportunity to promote change. So we thank you for bringing that comment up. And just know that this board is comprised of the City of Las Vegas, City of North Las Vegas, the county, and the state. And so we work through the municipalities in order to deal with specific issues that may be under their jurisdiction. Thank you.
And if I may, Madam Chair. Mr. Johnson, thank you so very much for bringing that to the forefront. As you very well know, we do have a new sheriff. And with that, a number of changes have occurred, but I'm glad to announce that one change did not occur, and that's Captain William Scott, who is the captain over the Bolden Area Command inside of the West Las Vegas community. With that, having multiple conversations with Captain Scott and all of his officers, and as the chairwoman, Assemblywoman Neal mentioned in relation to First Tuesday, one of their main initiatives is to rid the community of all of the drug houses and the peddling of drugs and illicit activity, specifically in this area, because a number of officers, to include the sheriff, who have worked this area during their younger years, now in their more mature years on the police force, they too are sick and tired of the oil and water, as I would call it, where they go in, do a drug bust, clean out a specific area, and then another drug house or the peddlers pop up in another section of the community that they've never seen before. And so this is something that Captain Scott has committed to continuing to drive home to eliminate this type of illicit activity so that we can continue to have the positive and productive growth inside of the West Las Vegas community, and of course throughout the Bolden Area Command, in which he oversees. So thank you so very much for bringing that forward.
Hi, good evening. Could you please state your name for the record?
Yes, my name is Edward Bevilacqua, and I want to refer to page 8 of the plan under weaknesses. And the first weakness listed is lack of workforce training opportunities for residents. So I just wanted to make the committee aware of the school, with the school called Larson Training Centers. And we are not located in the SNEC, but we are in the downtown project, or in the learning village of the downtown project. But our students all come from, are all the people who need education the most. So they are people who live at Catholic Charities, people who live at Salvation Army, people who live at the Shade Tree, people who live at the Mission, people who live at Casa Grande, which is not in the area, and they get to come to school during the day and they go back. We have students that are sentenced by the courts to go to school instead of jail. And so I just wanted to make the committee aware of our school and to say, we are here because you can't really get stable and meaningful employment without education. And so we're a school that's dedicated to that. We're a nonprofit school. We've been doing this for about 25 years and for 1 year in California. 1 year in Nevada, 25 years in California. And so anything that we can do to help educate more people, that's what we want to do. We have the support of Tony Shea. Again, it's not in your area, but we are down in the Learning Village and there's plenty of opportunity there. And so we currently have about 40 students. We are the only licensed post-secondary school in Nevada that is dedicated to this group of students. So we're here to help anything that we can do.
Madam Chair, through you. Was it Mr. Edward?
Yes.
Thank you so very much, Mr. Edward, for what it is that you all are doing specifically as it pertains to educating the most vulnerable in our community, and that's the boys and girls who are being raised by family members who are attempting to get back on their feet. And so with that, how does one contact your agency? And if in fact you have any materials or brochures or a website where we can basically spread that information to other colleagues and collaborative groups that may be able to benefit from what it is that your program or school has to offer.
We didn't bring any tonight because we weren't trying to promote the school too much, but our website is larsontrainingcenters.com.
And that's Training Centers plural?
Correct.
LARSON?
Correct.
Trainingcenters.org?
.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So anything we can do to help, we're here.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Please come forward. State your first and last name for the record, please.
Good evening, Madam Chairman and fellow board members. My name is Gwen Walker, and I am the founder of the Walker African American Museum and Research Center. I know most of you on the board, and I'm sure you know about the museum. This is my first time, of course, coming before you and really hearing about SNEC. I would like to ask you to consider adding the project for the permanent facility for the Walker African American Museum on your page 24 of your plan as a future project for the area. I do have plans here that were drawn up by KME Architect that have been in existence, the plans, for quite a few years. And these plans, of course, would provide in that permanent facility, which would be a 10,000 square foot facility, hopefully at our present location, which is at Van Buren and H, with the us gaining the property surrounding the two lots that we have, some owned by the city, others owned by individuals. But in this new facility, of course, the museum would provide jobs, would provide educational and cultural events, a meeting place, an amphitheater, retail spaces for a book and gift store, snack shop, ice cream shop, art gallery, portable exhibit spaces, a state-of-the-art computer and a genealogical research center, some of the things that we've been doing over the years that we've been at the Van Buren location. And of course, some of these various rooms in the permanent facility would be named after many of our local pioneers in the city. And we would hope that you all will consider including us in that plan and to help us. Of course, most of you know we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations over the years in trying to stay afloat there on our own. And it's getting very difficult at this time, but we still stand firm. Thank you. If you have any questions.
Yes, Madam Chair, through you. Ms. Walker, thank you so very much for being here tonight and sharing with those that are here in the audience in relation to the Walker Museum. But if you will, for those that don't know much about the Walker Museum, can you just please elaborate a little bit more in regards to how long it's been in existence, as well as the hours of operation for those that may want to come through and look to view what the Walker Museum has to offer, and what the needs are in relation to the expansion or the future development of the Walker Museum.
Yes, sir. As you know, Councilman Barlow, the museum is closed to the public at this particular time due to renovations, leaky roof. We're trying to repaint. We've had several burglaries. One as recent as December 27th. and vandalism as recent as Saturday while we were enjoying the groundbreaking for the West Side School. Someone took it upon themselves to remove our sign on the corner and politely dig it out of the concrete and lay it on the street. So we were fortunate enough to have a volunteer to come over and replace that on Monday. But we've been in existence since 1991-92 when we started having the annual African American Cultural Arts Festival in the community. Of course, once we took all of the exhibits out about a year and a half ago with the largest break-in that we did have, where they stole a large percentage of the dolls that we've collected for over 40 years. And most recently, when they broke in on the 27th of December, they stole the late Lieutenant Bolden's empty gun holster out of the showcase. So after that, on the 27th, I removed everything that was valuable except reading materials, because they don't usually take the stuff that you have to read. Okay, but we are there to provide, of course, and encourage the history of our locals as well as nationally, but we mainly concentrate on local black history there in the museum. And as soon as we can get the roof fixed right now, and the paint we have had donated recently from a gentleman out of California, so we just need some help in trying to get the building looking decent and the roof being fixed and water back on. We're fighting with the Las Vegas City Water also, because they said for over 5 years our meter wasn't working and our bills were running less than $20 a month. And then when they replaced the meter, all of a sudden in 2 weeks we had a $1,000 bill. So needless to say, we're still fighting them on that. But other than that,
Is there a website?
not at the present time due to all of these financial setbacks. The website is not up right now, but we hope to get that up in the next month or so again through Churches in Las Vegas. Mr. Warner Hurd has always done our website for us.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So we're going to have Mr. Hambrick and then Councilwoman McGowan. Is that okay? You had something?
Well, no, I was just going to, and he addressed it, just to announce like the resources and what your museum has to offer is what my question was. I think you addressed that.
Okay. So Mr. Hambrick and then Senator Atkinson.
Harvey Hamrick, I'd just like to know what kind of jobs and they're in training.
Well, once this new and permanent 2,000 square foot facility is built, we would have jobs. Of course, we have security, we have landscaping, we have employees that would work the museum. The computer center and the genealogical research center is planned to have at least 12 positions, computer positions, where we can come to the facility. Anyone can come to our facility and research their African American heritage. Over the last 20 years, I've been in constant contact with genealogical centers across the country for African Americans, that we will have that resource available where they can trace their history.
Are they good paying jobs and whatever?
Well, I'm hoping, and of course with our future plan and our proposal, our projections, we would be able to address the type of salaries that will come in, whatever the market will allow at that time.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Just a quick question, Ms. Walker. How are you?
Pardon me?
I said, how are you?
Okay, above ground, which is a blessing.
For the coroner's office for 7 years, so I understand that very well. Just a quick question. You mentioned quite a few issues with the building and things that need to be done. Have you guys had some type of estimate done just to indicate to us how much something like this may cost? Assume you're trying to redo it, so is there a cost associated?
We have some estimates on some of the things. We haven't done a combined estimate because we're not looking to put a whole lot of money in the existing building. Of course, we're definitely going toward the permanent facility, but I would guesstimate with the roof being about $3,500 for the repair on the estimate that we got. We did have one gentleman give us an estimate on painting the building for about $900. You know, of course, we've talked to community members that are willing to come and help, since we did have a gentleman from California that came and donated the paint for the outside. So it's a matter of just finishing the scraping. We did have another church member from one of our local churches that came over and started doing the power washing. That's why you see the side on G Street, all the paint is gone because he started that, then he got ill and had surgery. So it's been about 3 weeks and he hasn't been able to come back to finish that, so we could then maybe get some of these fraternities, one of the policemen that was there when we had the incident behind us on last Sunday, he volunteered, one of our local police officers from Metro, to come and help us paint, and he would talk to the Captain Scott to see if the other officers in the area would come and help us paint as well.
Okay. Thank you. It just would be interesting to try to find out what a complete estimate would cost to renovate the building.
Okay.
Something you should come up with.
I could come up with that, sir, after, say, in about 3 weeks. I'll go in the hospital on Tuesday, but in about 2 weeks after that, I should be able to get that back to you.
Okay. Godspeed to you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any additional people who want to come up for public comment? Please state your name, first and last for the record.
Good evening. My name is Lydia Garrett. I am the president of the North Valley Leadership Team. And I'm here to talk about some changes to the SNEC plan. North Valley has been meeting since 2006. Our community is within the SNEC boundaries, and we do have a project that we have, as a community, have been meeting with to talk about, and we'd like to have it included and adopted to the SNEC plan, where I would like to start. Would you like to introduce yourself as well, President?
Okay, my name is Billy. Billy, pastor of Capital Street Christian Center, and also...
Could you turn on your mic?
Okay. Billy G. pastor of Capital Street Christian Center, and also president of Windsor Park Neighborhood Association.
Okay. So with that being said, we're going to, because Windsor Park is one of our neighborhoods in the North Valley community, so we're going to talk about some proposed changes. On page 4 of this plan, it says the Buena Vista Springs, I believe it says Buena Vista Springs Market Study, City of North Las Vegas, January 2015. It should be changed because the market study has not been completed as of yet. So I don't know when the market study is supposed to be completed, but we were told it would be done in January, but as the last council meeting, it had not been done yet.
Yeah, we don't have a definite end date, so we can just say 2015 or January, February to have it completed, so we can take the January date off there, so it's not tailored to a specific month.
Okay. The next change that we're proposing is on page 7, where you're listing here that Windsor Park is open space improvements. It should say the Windsor Park neighborhood plan improvements. Windsor Park residents have been meeting, and they have come up with their own plan about what they would like to do in their community. And their president is here once I'm finished to present, to give their plan of what they want in Windsor Park. Also, on page 14, under community outreach, this should include the North Valley.
We're sorry, this is sidebar up here.
So,
on page 7?
yeah, we're back on page 7. So, under page 7, what you're citing to are North Las Vegas projects, right? So these are projects that North Las Vegas has done or will do in the future.
Yes.
So the reason why it is labeled that way is because that was language from the city of North Las Vegas. It is not language that we crafted on our own. It was language that North Las Vegas, the city, stated or gave to us.
Okay. So I'm asking, could we change that into the Windsor Park neighborhood plan improvement?
Councilwoman Goins?
I'm debating simply because if we start putting in individual plans based on different community groups, that we're opening ourselves up to something. I think this kind of covers it and can encompass your plan if we leave it this, because it's not tailor specific to a Windsor Park group or a North Valley group or something like that. So I just feel more comfortable leaving it as is, more general, so that we're not tailoring it to the Windsor Park plan, although we will, I know the plan because I have a copy of it, but then if that, because there's no funding sources in here right now, that would kind of lead us into that, so I think we need to keep it more broad and more general.
Just really quick, because when it says open space improvements, the language open space improvement deals with the fact that there are vacancies and there's open land that needs to be developed, and there is some kind of process or planning around those open spaces, which are many, right? If you walk through that neighborhood, it's sparse, and so I don't know if it doesn't meet the need of saying that there is an issue with the open space in the area and that there needs to be improvement in that area. Because improvement does not mean that it's not developed. Improvement does not mean that it won't be changed. And then when you look at the projects, which you were going to, Ms. Garrett, on page 24, which related to identify brownfield projects within the district, we try to at least speak to, number one, the mitigating of the area and try to deal with some of the issues that could come up, along with the statement of mixed-use development in that area, depending on what you can do in Windsor right now, which is not just industrial, it's whatever is sustainable if water ever came back through that plot of land or those acreage. Go ahead, continue.
Madam Chairman, Gene Collins, who is a member of North Valley. Now, I thought the meetings we had Saturday, you and Councilman Goin, that we wouldn't have to rehash what we are talking about today. Now, we agreed Saturday that all of the add-ons that was left out of this draft, all we had to do was write those edits in, and we would consider them tonight. And now, here we sit as if you never heard of, and she agreed with you, said, look, we're going to bring this document with us along with the written thing that was left out, and we're going to introduce them tonight, and all you said was challenge one home.
No, because I do want to clarify that statement, and I will clarify it right now, because on page 7, North Las Vegas language, they're asking the city to change. Her changes would be on 24, which were our added language from the draft. Page 7 is City of North Las Vegas and what they gave to us. For us to go back and change what a municipality stated is not what we can do.
Madam Chairman, Saturday when we discussed this document, Madam Chairman, and you know, and even what was not being discussed is black, because I wanted in the document black, and you says we could not put black in there until we brought the fact up there's Asian, there's Latin, and so there's nothing wrong with putting black in this document to make sure that we have a rightful position at the table. Now, and so we corrected that then. You told us Saturday. And regardless of what North Vegas left out, there was a whole lot of things left out of this document. And to move forward, this is a draft, and you told us that bring the new information and we will include it at this meeting moving forward, because this is a draft. And that's what you told us, and that's why we're here. And Councilwoman Goins, you was there as well.
Okay.
And so now you're saying that, well, the city of Las Vegas, this is a draft.
Mr. Collins, you are accurate in the fact that I did state that you could write in what you wanted to change and that we would address those community edits. That is a fact. What is the clarification is that she's asking on page 7 to get language that the City of North Las Vegas Economic Development staff put in the doc, because this is the city's future projects and their statement about what those future projects are defined as in words. Her comments or community edits would come onto page 24, which page 24 states Buena Vista 1 and 2. It also states mixed use. It also states Brownsville. So where in the projects did we fail to cite to, in a broad term, the area of Windsor outside of the Brownsville statement, outside of Buena Vista 1 and 2?
Madam Chairman, if I may, only thing I'm bringing to your attention is what we all sat down and agreed to, and moving forward, and to alleviate what we're doing as we speak, was to say that we are going to put everybody's agenda that was left out, be it city or not, because as you know, the city is not foolproof. North Las Vegas is not foolproof. And so what we discussed was that moving forward and all of us moving together so that we wouldn't come down here and have this type of discussion, because as I alluded to, this is nothing but a draft. And everybody should be included in the draft, and that's what we all agreed to.
Okay, so this is what we're going to do, okay? Because Jeff has a list, a nice long list of things that we're adding into the draft, which were stated, I believe, on Saturday, also board comments, also other community comments. Public comment, as you know, is at the beginning and the end, and it also can address when we bring discussion for possible action on this issue. So maybe let's list everything that we put down, right, that staff wrote down, that the community said they wanted to add it. We have it listed by page number, say on page 11, this is what we added, and maybe that will be helpful in guiding this discussion before there is a belief that somehow we didn't listen and that we did not do certain actions. And maybe we should do that. And if you're willing to do that, then we could probably eliminate a lot of extra dialogue about things that may or may not be accurate.
Okay, then I want to say that I agree with what you're saying, but here's a problem. What was also alluded to the fact that he works for North Las Vegas. And anything...
Jim Hay? Mr. Jim Hay?
Does he?
Yes, he is City of North Las Vegas staff.
Now, anytime you work for an individual, you wouldn't put in what they want or what they do not want. And that was the conversation Saturday. We were saying, look,
This was not a one-man task. Jim was doing a job that he was instructed to do, to take to staff. So it's not just falling on Mr. Jim Hay. This is in collaboration with the City of North Las Vegas staff, not just Jim.
Councilman Gordon,
I'm just letting you know. When you're saying that he's
irrelevant here. I just mentioned him because
he's very relevant.
I just mentioned him as a footnote. But what I'm saying is, he works for North Las Vegas. So there are a lot of things that North Las Vegas won't left out that in our community we won't put in. So only thing what we're saying is, and he agreed with me Saturday.
We're not arguing that we're not.
Okay, so all I want to do is make sure that we are put into this document. That's all, and what we agreed to Saturday.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Garrett, continue with your pages, and then we can get to our main agenda item and Mr. McGeechee citing to the list. So let's
I'll
do
just go
this.
down my list of proposed changes that we came up with as a community. And then I want to submit a couple of documents to the SNEC board, and then I guess you guys can review it or whatever your process is afterwards. So I'm just going to go down my list, and then I guess I'll give it to
When you submit, you wouldn't submit necessarily during public comment. So let's get all your comments in the record. We'll not go under public comment. Let's get all of that, and then we'll deal with your document, okay?
Okay.
All right.
So that was page 7, Windsor Park open space, which should say Windsor Park neighborhood plan improvements. I'll move on to page 14, under community outreach, should include attending the North Valley Leadership Team monthly. That's very important. We meet every second Saturday of the month, and what's being discussed from the residents needs to be heard as well, so to the SNEC board. So we're suggesting that you guys attend the North Valley meeting monthly. On page 17, for goals and objectives, Objective C, we're asking that you change it to the North Valley Community Development Corporation, NVCDC, will be the intermediary business entity focused on providing loans, securing tax credits, and business startup funding for minorities and businesses. I'll move on to Objective D. One of the bullet points should be that the North Valley Community Development, in Objective D, should add in North Valley Community Development Corporation. And lastly, on page 24, for programs and activities, partner with the North Valley Leadership Team. Also adopt the North Valley project to the SNEC plan under the projects and activities. I actually brought with me the actual North Valley plan that the residents have come up with. We've been working on since 2006, and I wanted to somehow, I don't know how we get it to you, but get it to the SNEC board so you guys can take a look at what the residents have been talking about, what they want in their community, which would include housing, senior housing. There would be some medical office space. There would also be retail and commercial space. Also attend the North Valley Leadership Team's monthly meeting to engage community leaders and stakeholders in the region. And lastly, adopt the Windsor Park neighborhood plan. The president here of Windsor Park is here. They have a plan as well that you guys may not be aware of.
Thank you.
Member Weekly attended one of the meetings at Windsor Park where there was discussion about what the community wanted in their future. So they have been meeting and came up with that document to explain what they would like to see in Windsor Park.
Thank you. On page 7, where it says Windsor Park will open property development in the future. So a question is, the future could be another 20 or 30 years that we are ignored and not given any benefits of our tax dollars. The soil, they talked about the soil, but we found out that the soil can be conditioned to have stable buildings, and we can build good, strong, healthy homes in Windsor Park. And this is what I've been telling the neighbors, and they are saying the neighbors are excited. They're all looking forward to getting something done up there now, and not just saying that we're going to have some plan for you in the future. We want something done. We want a starting date. We want a target date of when the city can look at doing something for North Las Vegas. The plan that we have is homes that would be green homes, would be energy efficient homes. Would be like a storybook neighborhood, and the construction can be done by people that's people that look like us in the neighborhood. So we have a diverse neighborhood now. It's no longer just a black community. So we want to present our plan to the city and go forward from there. But North Las Vegas, Windsor Park is here tonight, and we're going to be at the meetings from now on. Okay. And not only at these meetings, but we're going to, if we have to go up north, be with you up north, we go up there with you.
If I may? Yeah. I'm sorry, sir. Your name again?
Billy Miller.
Billy Miller. Mr. Miller. Thank you so very much for stating that, because this is what SNEC is about, getting the community involved, specifically when there's specific areas of concern that impact your quality of life. And as communities come together, this is exactly what we're looking for, is for communities to come together so that we can be on the same common page as to how you would like your community developed and redeveloped, specifically when there's issues surrounding the various things that impact how you navigate coming in and out of your community. And so I welcome you and your entire neighborhood association for coming in, for collectively bringing this issue forward to the SNEC, because that's what the area and the boundary of the SNEC is all about. How do we revitalize areas that have been impacted for a variety of issues, right? And so you may have geological issues in the area in which you live, but on the other side of the street, there's a lot of drug activity or gang activity that are impacting other residents' lives. And so we need to hear about that so that we can start to work on a game plan such as what we're doing here, the Southern Valley Enterprise Community, trying to figure out how we can change the economy of the area for the better versus allowing it to continue to go towards the worst. So, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll give my proposed changes to Jeff so he can give it to you guys so you can review it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for your time.
All right. So are there any additional public comment? We were going to move on to agenda items. Okay. Please state your name for the record.
Yes, my name is Deborah Pope. I'm the president and CEO of 3D Economic Development Consortium. Started out as a nonprofit and now we're a for-profit hybrid entity that specializes in creating low-skill jobs on a large scale. I wanted to address page number 19 as well as page number 22 for job creation. I heard a couple of people talk about the drug activity in West Las Vegas and the need for jobs in that location. And I wanted to kind of find out what is the city's plan for innovation. Because a lot of the things that we have listed here are things that, or strategies that have been used in the past that may not necessarily have been as effective, and the apparent or result of it is what we have now in North Las Vegas and literally all across the country. A mass amount of mass incarceration, African American children, children of brown bodies are being incarcerated at an astronomical rate. And the answer is not just putting them in jail. We have to create economic opportunities. We have to create jobs. We have to create opportunities for them. So what I want to know is what the city's plan is to deal with some type of microeconomic system. We've developed a system that will create large-scale employment, low-skill employment. Those are the things and those are the opportunities that are necessary in our community to deal with this issue. Because just shoveling someone and arresting them and putting them over here, they're just going to go right over here. We have to, as a community, start taking responsibility and creating opportunities in an ecosystem. Not just incarcerating, not just programs, but it's necessary that we develop a system that will feed off of each other. We create jobs. Those jobs, those individuals that are employed then turn around and they patronize the businesses that are established in the community. With the TME system that we designed, we have done exactly that. We create low-skill jobs. We have impact investors that come in and they actually underwrite the salaries initially for feasibility studies and for the first 6 months. And then we take those employees, we train them, low skill, customer service positions, things that can be trained very easily, and we disperse those trained individuals back into the community to help boots on the ground with small businesses and nonprofits to help build the infrastructure within the community. Those are the type of innovative things that we have to start taking a look at in this community, because our children and our communities need help now, not tomorrow, right now. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
I agree.
Okay. I have a website. We have 5 websites, actually. It's 3D Economic Development Consortium.com.
Number 3.
the number 3, D, Economic Development Consortium.com. The system that we developed is called TME. It's a targeted microeconomic system, and what it is actually an ecosystem that you can implement in any community on any social or economic level that creates a whole system, not just a program that trains individuals for jobs that are non-existent. So if you're going to train somebody, then you also have to have jobs that are available for those individuals to actually move or improve their life. And that's what the TME system does. So I really encourage the board, the council, this is new for me, to take a look at our website. We have a 12-minute video that goes step by step by step in 3 phases on how we can implement this shovel-ready now to deal with some of the issues that are plaguing our community here in Las Vegas, in North Las Vegas. Okay?
All right, thank you. So, as we have, okay, so 2 more for public comment, then we're going to move to agenda item number 4.
Good evening.
Thank
my
you.
name is Oscar Kyles, and I'm with the Black Business Council of Nevada. And I just had a couple comments, questions on page 8. Access to capital for minority-owned businesses as a weakness. And that's been going on for years. And I don't know what what can be done on that, because if black, I'm a business owner, and if we can't have capital, we can't hire people.
Right.
And we can't do things. I personally, I own a company. We make televisions and we make tablet PCs, and we've been importing those from Asia for the last 10 years. But now we want to build here in Las Vegas. We want to build somewhere in this community. We can assemble them here. And there's a lot of incentives. We're partnered with Walmart, so we know we're going to have steady business by doing this, because we've been with them since 2007. And so that's very difficult. And I know they have new market tax credit. We have federal, which is going to help me on one end. But they created a program, Ms. Neal, for the state, and nothing came to any black businesses here in Nevada. And hopefully we're going to change that in the fall. And I'd like to come up whenever that's going to be presented in the fall, in the next legislative session to do that. I'm also looking at opportunities, and I see for financing on page 9. Non-traditional financing, does that include new market tax credit, or what's the thought on that?
Non-traditional, that does fall into that category.
Yeah, it falls into that, yes.
Okay.
We have an appendix in the back that lists all of the legislation so far that's actually dealt with the economic infrastructure in the area.
Okay.
We know that that's a clear weakness and something we have to continue to work on.
Okay. And then finally, the revolving loan fund, I don't know if that exists.
That was AB 417 that came out of the 2013 legislative session. It is something that needs to be funded, does not currently have an allocation, but it is in statute that it can be, and it is, be created through the city.
Is that for that's for the city of Las Vegas? Or
Yes,
Las Vegas?
cities. It actually allows any city that selects to create a revolving loan fund for businesses under AB 417.
Okay. No financial numbers on what that involves?
It just said that it was supposed to be focused on small businesses with employees of 25 employees or less, so that it had a target group.
The last comment I'd like to make is, I've been making the rounds. I'm going to Las Vegas, city of Las Vegas, to see what's happening in the enterprise zone that we can build. In fact, initially we want to rent a facility, 150,000 square feet. Eventually we want to build. We're going to employ over 300 people, 300 to 400 people. And so they said, well, we can buy that at market value. Well, that's not really what I wanted to hear. I can go anywhere. And so then I went to North Las Vegas and met with them before Christmas. And then the one who's over at economic development, I haven't gotten a call back. Okay? So this time, just yesterday, I went to Henderson. I was kind of reluctant. I live out in the Southern Highlands. I'm like, that's close to my house. But how can I hire black people, which is my intent, who's going to drive way up to Henderson? And so it's just a very difficult environment that I've been experiencing. Now we're about to get our funding. We're about to go forward with this. But if I have to be up in Henderson, then that's what I have to do. And they've been very receptive to me. So I just know that the environment where you say there is a, I want to build in a minority neighborhood, black neighborhood, is very difficult. Just want to make that comment.
Do you have a card you can leave it with Mr. McGee,
Yes,
please?
Mr. Oscar Connors, yes, I do.
Thank you. Is there one more person, right, from public comment? I thought there were two. Yeah. Come on up.
Good evening, and I just want my comments to be on public. I won't take up too much of your time. I'm here as an entrepreneur. My name is Aisha Goins. My company is Whitesis Enterprises. We focus on small business development. And I want to just draw attention to page 19, where objective C, where you talk about support entrepreneurial efforts to develop and grow minority-owned businesses, enterprises. And I know that this goes directly, because I read the document, Chairman Neal, and it's great. I was only going to read a few pages, but I read it all. It was really good, really well written. But I want to draw your attention to where it says project programs and activities on page 24. And it points out partner with Urban and Latin Chamber access funding to support and promote entrepreneurial ventures. And I just want to point out, as a small business owner, there are fees to join these organizations. And so I think that there should be some verbiage where there are scholarships offered or grants offered to small business owners who are under 25 to support those fees so that they can make themselves available for the opportunities there. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we are going to move on to agenda item number 4, which is for possible action to approve final minutes from the last regular meeting held on October 13th, 2014. It was actually held on December 8th because we obeyed the October 13th meeting. Mr. McGee.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, are we going on to item
4?
5? Okay, item 4.
Well, you need a motion. I'm going to do a motion to approve the final minutes from December 8th. First from Senator Atkinson, second.
Second.
Councilwoman Goins. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
I'm sorry, I'm going to abstain because I did not attend that meeting.
Okay.
Unless anybody, I'm not sure that I should vote yes if I wasn't there, or if no one has any corrections. I guess I can vote yes.
Your abstention is noted.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Moving on to agenda item number 5, a report by Jeff Medici.
Madam Chair, the balance in the community project fund is $1,279.25 as of 11/25/14.
So I just want to make note before, over the break when we dropped the economic development plan, the first draft, we actually had a Northwest Vegas business that wants to, or they pledged $5,000 to us, and then they repledged again on the January 19th. And so we just need to figure out how we make that pledge real. And just to let the board know, I did send an email out, but it was Christmas, so.
I will look into that and report back to the board on that.
All right, so moving on to agenda item number 6, discussion for possible action regarding the update on the SNEC plan. All right, so now this is the time. Do I have to make a motion? No? So just go ahead and open it up to the board to have a conversation. If you have any additional changes, I want Jeff to lay out all of the changes by page number that we have accumulated so far, and then the board can add in any additional comments or things that they've noted so far.
Thank you, Chair Neal. Let me try and clarify some things here with regards to public feedback we got. As Chair Neal said, there was a public meeting held last Saturday where we received a lot of feedback that has been since incorporated into the plan. There's a couple documents out there. This document right here was distributed with the agenda to the public for this meeting. Since that point, we've incorporated a lot of the changes that we discussed on Saturday, as well as a few other things that we received from board members, strategy committee members as well. Those changes are now included in this document right here. So this is the revised version. The blue cover is the new one. The white cover is the old one.
Ms. Mengistu, let me stop you there.
Yes, sir.
Just to digress for a moment to go back to the point that Ms. Lydia and Mr. Collins were mentioning in regards to the implementation of the Windsor Park plan. Will you also speak to that, if in fact it's a part of this current redraft, or how in fact it can or cannot be implemented into the third draft moving forward, if in fact there's a third draft?
As I understand it, I'm not an expert on the North Valley plan, but several of the projects I believe are included within this plan. As far as adding to the plan moving forward, if you just wanted to add specific projects, that's at the discretion of the board to add it tonight or anytime the board meets. You can update this plan. With regards to adopting another plan under this plan, and I'm not, from a legal standpoint, I don't know. My understanding is such that this plan is mandated by state law. So this plan addresses specific issues as they pertain to the SNEC Act itself. So to integrate or put another plan inside of it, I'm not quite sure how that works. I think ultimately it would be the discretion of the board possibly, or maybe Mr.
Jim, would you speak to that? And before you speak to that, just so that I'm clear, because I think this is actually, I don't see Mr. Collins. Has he left? Oh, he's behind the pole. So you don't want to look at me tonight, Mr. Collins. Is that right? Mr. Collins, if you and Ms. Lydia don't mind coming back forward, please, just because I just want to be clear so that everyone's clear in regards to whether or not we can do this or not. If you will just reiterate your intentions in regards to the Windsor Park plan being implemented in the Southern Nevada Enterprise Community Plan.
Yes, okay.
And so just explain so that I'm clear, that we're clear, and then Mr. Lewis, that'll give you a second bite at the apple to give us the legal context moving forward.
To my understanding, North Valley is inside of the SNEC Economic Development Zone. North Valley is comprised of 7 different neighborhoods, which includes Windsor Park. The North Valley plan that I submitted tonight is what the residents have been working on with the City of North Las Vegas, with the Urban League, with the North Valley Community Development Corporation, and United Way since 2000, and the City of North Las Vegas since 2006, of how we're going to fix our community.
So let me stop you there, just so I can walk with you. So just so that I'm clear, the North Valley plan is a plan that the City of North Las Vegas municipality, to include residents, work together on to create, and that's also a question for the council and for point of clarification. Hold the plan up, if you will, Mr. Lewis. Who produced this document?
Okay. We are partners with the City of North Las Vegas. North Las Vegas staff comes to our meeting and they take feedback. And we did surveys. We've been talking about this for years. We put together an actual action plan, a community action plan. And this is the community action plan for 2013 to 2017.
Which is an insert of
from this document of what the community said that we needed done. That plan came together. We had an architect.
That the city of North Las Vegas produced.
Yes, they are partners with us when we completed this plan. They took, we got an architect firm from out of Los Angeles, California. They volunteered their services to put us together a plan. They took this document and put that plan together. So everything incorporated in our community action plan is included in that document.
Okay, I'm clear.
And then also, it evolved, because since this has happened, this is a little bit outdated. Buena Vista Springs has been torn down. Windsor Park has come on board with us, is one of the neighborhoods with us. And now with how Windsor Park got involved is because the city of North Las Vegas, there's another geological survey. The residents met, the mayor of North Las Vegas came out with Councilman Weekly and told them, with Commissioner Weekly, and told them that the land, they could be remediated, those soils can be fixed because the technology exists now to fix those soils, and whatever the residents, they were encouraged to come up with their own plan about what they wanted.
So it sounds like it needs to be updated, is what you're saying.
Well, the way
from the previous draft.
yes, the way it was
In order to update in order to bring this plan up to full
yes,
speed.
and that would include Windsor Park.
I got you.
So it's North Valley, and then of course Windsor Park, and both of those neighborhoods are incorporated in the SNEC.
Correct.
zone.
So I get it, and I appreciate that clarification. So, Mr. Go ahead, Councilwoman.
And I think it's really important that we have to distinguish between a plan and a concept. Because there is not a formal plan that has been drafted yet that has been adopted by the city of North Las Vegas or North Valley. Those are concepts. We are in the planning phase to submit that as a document yet. Because we are still in the like what's in here, we are still in the process of completing our studies so that we have data, so that we can support, so that we can start to put together a plan, so that we can move to the planning phase right now. We're still in the concept design phase.
Before you move forward, I want to make sure, Mr. Collins, if you will, Mr. Lewis, if you'll just, from a technical standpoint, because I'm a fast learner, so I understand what's happening here now in regards to the plan and the update. So, Mr. Lewis, from a technical standpoint, so that we can move forward, is it possible for the North Valley plan to be implemented inside of the SNEC plan as we prepare to finalize this draft?
Vice Chairman, thank you. Board members, I've taken a quick look at what was given to you. Like Councilwoman from North Las Vegas stated, this doesn't really look like a plan of action, if you for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
This does look like a concept materials, things that we might like to see in the area. Now, what's important to note is that this area is within the SNEC community.
Correct.
This plan that Jeff has before you talks a lot about the public funding of certain infrastructure projects, which is part of the act. A lot of the things that this plan seems to indicate is doing the types of things that the North Valley Community Concept Plan would like to do. I guess what I'm saying very simply is I'm not sure you need to adopt this document as part of your legislative agenda, your plan, because a lot of what they would like to do in here, their concepts, are also a part of this.
Right.
So if there is, I might just offer to you, suggest to you that if there are any specific projects within this portion of the SNEC community, that maybe they present those to you tonight for your consideration. But it sounds to me like they have some overarching goals that they would like to see you consider that are also already contained within this document.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Mr. Collins, and I don't mean to take your meeting away, Madam Chair, but Mr. Collins, your follow-up, and then Mr. McGee,
I disagree with what he's saying. Totally. I disagree. Now, what he's saying is, what she's saying about the plan, the reason why the plan has not been implemented, the plan is 5 or 6 years old, it's North Las Vegas' fault. It's not North Valley's fault. You see, see, what he is saying is, and what Councilman Gordon is saying is, okay, is that North Valley doesn't have a complete document, nor does SNEC. This is not a complete document that SNEC has, and so while this is open on both ends, and see, in the beginning, Councilman, there wasn't no plan except North Valley.
Correct.
There was no plan at all except North Valley's plan. So they've been working ever since 2006 on that plan that he has right there. And so all of a sudden now, everybody gets together at the 11th hour and came in with their plan, and he's saying, this is a complete plan, which is not. And so what we were saying is, while this is open and while this is a draft, then there's nothing wrong with you including, because this is not, SNEC is not finalizing. And what we was planning on doing, Councilman, original part, we knew that somewhere down the line, we were going to have to combine some of these projects that people have brought before you all. So what we have done, there might be some things that original part that we could corroborate in North Valley.
Okay.
You see, and so this is what we were saying. But to sit here and say that we want to, how would you call it, spot zoning or spot projects, that's totally incorrect here. They have been working, we have been working since 2006 on this when there was nothing else, and so at the 11th hour, everybody come running with a plan. And now he's saying, well, I don't think that we can include North Valley into this, but however, there's some things in North Valley that you could put in there that's totally wrong. I totally disagree with that.
And I appreciate that. And so let me, if you will, allow Mr. McGee to finish with his presentation, and we can add further to the conversation through Madam Chair. Thank you. Mr. McGee.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So, given where, so I just want to clarify the two plans, because I know this is confusing. So, the blue one has changes in it, and if I could, I would like to read those into the record for you, and I'll just go through this and tell you what the changes are, and I think maybe that might help to address some of the things that people have brought up during the discussion. So as I give you these page numbers and talk about these things, that is where they are in the white plan, not the blue one, because that is what we changed in here. The changes are then reflected in the blue one. So there's some page numbering things. If you jump around, if you need clarifications, let me know. So
we're referencing the blue or the white right now?
I'm going to reference the white as I read the changes to it, which will then put into the blue.
Gotcha.
But the members, just the board has the blue or the...
No, they're out there.
They're out there, okay, so you need to go. It's back there. There's still no more.
We have a couple more.
Here.
Madam Chairwoman, this is Shonda Armstrong.
Yes.
Hi, have the blue ones been emailed yet?
It was emailed this afternoon, I believe, around 1 o'clock.
That was to the strategy committee.
Yeah. Oh,
this is the first.
This is the first time the board. Oh, so you would have it, Chandra, because you were on the strategy committee.
Yes. The strategy committee received it earlier today. In order to follow meeting law, that could not be distributed to the board until this very minute to be shown to the board at the same time as the public. So, for starters, it has a new cover, which is blue. All right. If you go to page 6. Page 6 of the white plan. Okay. Under North Las Vegas projects, Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant moved to the current projects from the future projects as that grant was awarded, and that's the 6th on the bottom. So that's just a move on that item.
Repeat that once
It was, let me clarify, let me say that again. The Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant was a future project in the original plan. In the last week, that was approved, so we moved it to a current project.
Okay, so just for clarification for the members in the audience, we're on page 6 in both documents. The status changed because there was an award for the choice plan, which was listed initially as future, now it's current. We're on page 6, it's the exact same page in both docs. And it's the choice plan, which if you count from the bottom up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So counting from the bottom on page 6 in the chart, you would see choice, neighborhood, now current, because there was a grant award recently. So, everybody...
I'm sorry.
No, it's not in the white
It did not be reflected in the blue. I'm just citing where it was originally.
Right. It was listed in the white.
Well, it's in the white
It's
on
on
page
page 7.
seven.
In the white, it's on page 7 under Cary Avenue, under future.
Yeah, so it is there.
So it's there.
All right.
Okay, go.
Next. Okay, on page 8.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I have the white document in front of me, and I see the choice grant. I see. Thank you. Go with the eyes, pardon me.
Okay.
All right. On page 8, under strengths, bullet number 6 was changed to read real estate is affordable. That was just language clarification.
So is everybody clear? So under the SWOT analysis where it is in pink in the chart and it says strength, there was a wording change for real estate. So instead of affordable real estate, the words were rearranged to say real estate is affordable. Everybody see that? Okay.
All right. On page number 9, under opportunities, and 7th bullet down, we removed MWBE, which represented minority and women-owned businesses, and replaced that with minority-owned businesses only. Not only, but instead of MWBE. That's the 6th bullet down on page 9.
Right. So under opportunities in purple, instead of saying Weeby Weeby, it just says minority-owned business. Is everybody in the audience clear on that change? This is, okay, so the blue one says minority-owned business. The white used to say Weeby Weeby, MWBE. And that was struck out. And now it says minority-owned businesses.
Madam Chair, if I may, it might be easier to just look for the changes in the blue.
Yeah.
I think I'm giving you too much information. I just wanted to be accurate in terms of what changed.
I know.
Okay. So, okay, let's, are we good with
Just the
that
blue.
one? Okay.
Everybody have blue in the audience? No. So who's missing a blue copy? Okay. We have some extra.
That's an extra one right there.
All right, on page 14.
And there's one more.
On page 14 in the blue plan, the second paragraph was added. That second paragraph on page 14 in the blue plan is new.
The outreach effort.
Outreach? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Also, on page 14, we moved, in the blue plan on page 14, there was a reference to the F Street Coalition, and that item has now been moved to page 17, just to reflect historic outreach rather than current outreach. The verbiage is the same, it just moved on the page, or moved to a different page.
This is 14?
Yeah, you'll find it'll be the last item on page 17.
So it's page in the
What is on 14?
in the okay. So in the blue document, page 17, the addition is the last paragraph under historic outreach, or the last two sentences, which says the F Street Coalition. So it's moved under historic outreach because that was an initial action under the SNEC board. And that was a past action because Councilman Barlow has remedied it.
Well, now you don't give me credit. Some folks may get upset. Katie Lumpy did it.
All right.
Proceed.
Come on, let's go. Next.
Okay. On page 18. All right. This is actually. So, okay, this is actually, I apologize. This is on page 19 in the blue plan. On the blue plan, page 19, the very last item is a new goal or a new objective under goal number 3, which states to actively support historically black-owned business enterprises to grow and expand. And that is a new item that came from, particularly from public outreach on Saturday.
Yes, it's, Objective A, page 19 at the bottom.
Is new, and then the others just shifted, and then just for clarification, the others just shifted down, and they're all the same as they were, and now there's an additional.
Okay.
Okay. All right, on page 20. On page 20, Objective E was amended to read, we added other chambers of commerce. We previously read work with the urban and Latin chambers of commerce, and now we have added other chambers of commerce to that line. Moving on page 22. On page 22, under goal number 2, you'll see Objective A, which is what I just mentioned, supporting, excuse me, I apologize, it's on page 23. Objective A is new. Actively support historically black-owned business enterprises to grow and expand. That's just moving that into this performance part of the plan itself. Okay. On page 24, we added item on page 25, excuse me, on page 25, the fourth item down, Choice Neighborhood Planning Grant for redevelopment of Rose Gardens and Buena Vista. And I believe that was just a clarification with more information from what it was previous, because I think we just had Choice Grant in there before. Let me just check that. No, actually, that I believe is a new item that was not included previously. So now that's identified as a project for which the board has included in the list. All right. And then we have also on page 25, fifth from the bottom, we've added partner with Nevada Partners to support regional workforce development, which is new.
Jeff, the one underneath that you need add other chambers as well. Should we change that language on that one too, or just leave it? The one right underneath where it says partner, urban and Latin.
Oh, okay. So we will add others to that under 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth from the bottom, we will add, remember, Goins-Brown has requested we'll add other chambers there as well.
Right. And so when you make the statement other chambers, that represents all chambers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good. We took them out. That's what he's saying. And we took them out to correct him by saying to work with all chambers and not just specifically those two. So we took those two out. I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
They stay. Those two stay.
No, they stay.
Okay, then I stand.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Real quick, is this where we would, are you incorporating just changes from Saturday or things that we heard tonight as well?
I have not included anything that we've heard tonight.
Okay, so we will get to do that in a minute if we...
Other than what member Goins-Brown just suggested. That's the only change that I guess...
I understand that, but I'm saying we have a discussion and then...
Okay, so...
Yes. So on page 24, there was a spelling error in the top paragraph, and it was the same in 1 and 2. So it's SNEC and it says SWEC. We need to make that change. I have
Where was that?
It's at the top paragraph on page 25 in the blue dot. Seconds 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
I see it. Got it.
The third sentence. Yes.
Another question, Madam Chair.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just to clarify, on the sentence which says partner with urban and Latin chamber, instead of just naming those two and other chambers, why can't we just take those two out and just put in all chambers? That way we're not leaving out anybody, we're not singling out two and adding others. On both pages, can we just make that correction? I don't know what the board feels. Instead of saying urban and Latin, don't say that at all. Just say that pursue funding, partner with all chambers.
Makes sense.
Okay?
It's okay.
Well, I don't want to put a number down either, just say we partner with all chambers. And that's on that other page, I forgot what other page it was. Throughout the document.
Okay.
Anywhere it occurs in the document, we'll make that change.
You don't leave out anybody.
Okay.
And I'm sure that's all I have.
Okay, all right. So now, the board, do you have any additional add-ons before we adopt?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and I didn't know if, and I do believe that the one that Ms. Walker talked about earlier, providing numbers, I think that's one that should be included. I haven't been to the museum, but if the effort is exactly as she described it, I think that it's a good one for us to take on. Okay, I'm gonna make my suggestion. and then we'll get to another one, but we're trying to finish this one. So if that is one that the board would like to accept, I would like to make that recommendation.
All right, board members. Well, I also want to put a motion to accept Senator Atkinson's suggestion for Walker Museum to be added to Walker African American Museum to be accepted as a project. Is there everyone in favor, or who's in favor?
Aye.
Can I get a motion?
Yeah.
Okay. So Senator Atkinson, second by Barlow, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. So it's accepted as a project. Any additional projects? From the board. I'm talking about the board. All right, okay.
Madam Chair. We have Ms. Nussler.
Go ahead, Senator.
Just for the edification of the audience, I think Jeff should say where it goes, just so that they know, because the document is big and it's and so going forward when we produce a new document, they'll know where to go find it. So just can you let the audience know where it's going to go?
Page 25.
With regards to, physically in the plan?
Yeah, since it's not listed.
It would go into, go either on page 25 or 26 as a project, program, or activity, and just wherever it falls alphabetically, these are sorted. So if you want one of those two pages under the projects, programs, and activities section of the document.
Okay. Councilman Barlow, you have some projects? Okay. Are there any other members? And then we'll swing back to Councilman Barlow. Councilwoman Goins. There was discussion that the North Valley concept or plan document has some projects that should be or could be under project programs and activities outside of Buena Vista Springs 1 and 2, mixed-use development, the Brownsville. Do you see any additional things that you are seeking to add?
No, hold on. Councilman Barlow's out. I think we should, if you're going to listen, we should be listening. Did we ever get final direction as to how we can incorporate that?
Madam Chair, I think the question is directed at me.
Yes.
I think what I said, my comments before were, there are a lot of things about the current plan that encompass some of, in a general way, a lot of what's in what they produced. I think that Jeff maybe can help us look through that document, and maybe the proponents of the plan can tell us, is there anything specific that is, that would be defined as infrastructure in the Act that should be placed in the plan? And I think maybe we should ask the project proponents if there's anything specific that you all might want to include. Because looking at it generally, it talks about a wide swath of area, and, commercial, residential. There's some big goals, but not a lot of specific plans. So maybe I would suggest addressing the project proponent and asking if they have anything specific you might like to add.
So, before we do that, Councilman Barlow, do you have any additional projects?
No, I don't.
No, okay. So, going back to that question. So, if you look on page 25 of projects, programs, and activities, here are all the things that relate to North Valley and Windsor Park. So you have Buena Vista Springs 1 and 2. That's on line 2. Then you have identify brownfields project in the district. Then you have mixed-use development, which speaks to housing / commercial type of retail. Then you have your choice neighborhood planning grant, which obviously was awarded, that helps you plan for specific Buena Vista sites to do some site intervention there. Create and grow businesses within the SNEC district. And then finally, I don't know if you guys had research and development centers in yours or pursuit of funding. But I think some of those at least encompass some of your larger goals in the plan, and if it does not, you need to tell us how it does not.
When we started coming to the SNEC meetings a couple of years ago, the major focus of the SNEC was F Street. We are also in the SNEC enterprise zone as well. And we were ignored for a long time. We waited our turn till you finished the F Street project. Now we understand the SNEC board doesn't have any projects. Well, for the last 2006, we've been working on putting projects together. That's why I was saying, don't go back and redo the work we just did 6 years ago and start this race late again. Take the work that the community has put together in this draft and in our particular plan that we're bringing today. Bring it together with the resources of the SNEC board and then work together so we have projects that move forward.
Okay, Councilman Barlow.
Just for a point of clarification, I understand the point in regards to the F Street, was the focal point for quite some time. And, but to say that the SNEC does not have any projects now is not true. There's a number of projects taking place, projects and developments taking place inside of SNEC. And so with that, what I'm hearing is that you would like for a specific project or a number of projects within the North Valley plan to be also on the table to move forward, just as we move forward as a collective body to support that.
Yes, I just want to make sure that we're mentioned in the project specifically, so if something else comes up, we're on the back burner now. Now we want to be mentioned specifically so we know that when we come to these meetings, they'll be actually addressing issues in North Valley.
So the question that we're asking of you is to point out specifically what developments or projects that you're referencing so that we can deliberate amongst ourselves to either add it or leave it out. And so that's a question that we're asking you. What would you like to see in this particular plan that is not currently here? That's the question.
Okay. In the North Valley plan, we have discussed medical office space. Okay. We would like to see doctors and providers come to our community. Right now, people are leaving the community to get medical services, especially for diabetes, high blood pressure, and diseases that affect African Americans. We would also like to see commercial and retail projects come in, specifically mixed use, specifically restaurants. We have a lot of churches in this community. We want to see some type of amphitheater come up to help our churches out with plays, concerts, and conventions that we'd like to do here in our community that hasn't been mentioned. We also want to do some senior housing on that place, which HUD has to let us know how many units we have to replace back on the 18 acres. We also want to build some twin homes there, sort of to support the community, the senior community there. We're looking at putting in a senior center there to support the activities of our senior community. We're also looking at our youth with the Boys and Girls Club that they can go to after school. And we're also looking at fitness in the area because we have so many numbers of high blood pressure and obesity in our community. We're also talking about putting a grocery store back in our community, or our farmer's market, where we have access to fresh fruits and vegetables, since we're living in a food desert. Also, when we talk about Windsor Park, there was an option on the table where we could have that soil remediated. Those residents could get new homes in that community, and the remainder of the residents that are staying there, and the rest of the homes would be sold. There would be 300 homes built, and whatever the amount of the residents would go into the new homes, and the remainder of the residents, the remainder of the properties would be sold at fair market value. So I don't see any of that in your plan.
Commissioner, can I give you just Councilman Barlow, let me give you a little history about Wisdom Park. When we brought up, that used to be a landfill. And Mr. Walker, bless his soul, wanted to build a high echelon community where a middle class, where the income was anywhere from $60,000 to $70,000 to $80,000 per household. Because they had a voting record as high as any voting area in Clark County, right there in Wisdom Park, because a lot of those individuals worked at the test site. Then you had educators and everything living there. What Mr. Walker didn't know, that there was a landfill. When we found out there was a landfill, under Mayor Clay Lynch, I think it was, Senator Neal did a soil sample. Mrs. Walker, when the houses start pulling away from the frame, then people got concerned, so they came to the legislature and asked us for some help on some money and finding out what the problem. So we went and came up with the engineering plan with the soil samples and found out that the city of North Las Vegas knew that there was a landfill, and they went ahead and built those homes on there anyway. But Mr. Walker didn't know. He wanted to build a high echelon African American community, and which he did. At the time, those homes were very eloquent. They were really nice. The neighborhood was nice. Like I say, 95% of the individuals there, they voted. And so now, moving forward, we're here, and they were supposed to have torn down Wisdom Park, and right there where Mr. Macedonia Church, that land in there, those individuals were supposed to have moved from there right down the hill, and we would have built new homes, because a lot of people up there had their homes paid for. And so they was going to move them down the hill. Well, what happened? They wanted to give those individuals $50,000, and there's no way in the world you can buy a home for $50,000 or anything like that. So down the land is still vacant. To build a few houses down there, but most land is still vacant. So that's how, but everyone knows that in order to make that hole, you have to go down and dig out 10 or 15 feet. Dig that landfill out, come back in and put in new soil, and it's just like any other place. So the only difference was that it was a landfill. You got a water table there that's so good, it's just unbelievable. So that's a little bit of history, and like Lydia was saying, we knew that you couldn't get to every plan, so that's why that Wisdom Park and North Valley said, look, we're gonna come together once we get this ironed out. Once North Valley has been put into the plan, then we're going to work together because our concerns are the same. And that's how the Wisdom Park and all of us got together. And I'm sitting here and I'm listening at the gentleman. Where you go? Oh, there he is. And he says, you show me what's in your plan that's not in ours. It's almost like putting the chicken, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? And I'm sitting there, I'm listening at this. And when he said, show me, well, the thing that she has outlined is not in this SNEC plan. What she has outlined is not in there, but I just thought it was real strange when he said, show me point to what you have. Well, and if you look at this plan, this SNEC plan isn't not formalized. There are going to be more changes and everything made to this plan in order to get this plan livable so that we can all walk down the road together hand in hand with this plan. So I found it awful strange when he said you point to what's in your plan that it doesn't have an ours, and I thank God that she did that.
Madam Chair, through you.
Before you go, let Commissioner Weekly go.
I was
Okay, go ahead.
I was
Go ahead. Go ahead. Councilman Marlowe, go ahead.
No, I was just going to let you know that I'm going to divert the rest of my time to Commissioner Weekly for the sake of time.
Okay. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you.
We have my last 2 minutes on top of whatever you have.
Okay. You haven't spoken yet.
I first wanted to just ask Councilwoman Rose Brown, being that you had referred earlier that the North Valley plan was more or less a form of concept, when were you all, from your board's standpoint, looking to, I guess, visit this and discuss it and see if it was going to be something you all were going to adopt?
You mean as far as North Las Vegas?
North Valley, yeah.
North Valley?
Yeah. Because I think what I heard is that their concept would have to come through you all, and you all would have to review it and then adopt it. Is that what I kind of heard earlier?
We want to work as a partnership, as a team.
Mm-hmm.
However, there's so many different stipulations with this project right now, as far as what requirements from HUD we have to do as a city. Their concept, and I said this at our last meeting, HUD feels that their concept is too quote-unquote community-oriented without having any hard fact data to back it up. So that's why I say it's more of a concept. Medical offices might not be supported as far as the plan goes. A gym or something like that, we don't know yet. That's why I say we're not at that phase to say that we can actually just take that plan and adopt it until all the puzzle pieces are put together, so to speak.
So being that this is a board, this consortium that's here that consists of local and state, if you will, and community, how do we, Madam Chair, take public comment and adopt it? Because as far as I'm concerned, legal, I know that when we look at our land use plan updates, either annually or contingent upon growth or decline, if you will, there's a period of time that we accept public comment. And sometimes it comes in concept forms, if you will. But what we do is we pretty much adopt it or we pretty much take it in as amended language, if you will, even if we have to adopt it contingent upon whatever needs to be rectified. Because the public has to be able to have some form of input into that document. And it seemed to me like we're not leaving that the flexibility open there for that, the acceptance of whether it be North Valley or any public group. Their comment doesn't sound as if it's going to fit into what will be finalized in this final draft. Is that making any sense?
Yes, it does make sense. Senator Atkinson?
Thank you, and I was along those same lines. Councilwoman, if you all do decide at some point to adopt, is there like the county and the city, there's sometimes grants, there's sometimes some type of funding. If you guys choose to accept, is there some type of funding mechanism for adopting a program like this?
We don't have a funding mechanism at this time.
Right. I'm saying if you do.
If we do.
You probably would. And the reason why I ask that question is because this committee doesn't. But I will agree, and I keep hearing all of the committee's questions, answers to some of the questions, and I've attended some of the meetings as well. And the plan definitely is, they're definitely very progressive. But what I will say is, we keep going around about what's not in here, and everything that you mentioned is. Everything it is except for the name. And so I'm wondering, and concern with us being so caught up on you guys just wanting the name in. And I know, Gene, you're ready to eat me up, but I think the fact is everything that you mentioned is in here. Mixed use almost covers everything you were talking about. Develop community-based health clinics is in here. Training is in here. Everything that you mentioned. So what I'm telling you is, instead of getting caught up in North Valley being in here, Windsor being in here, that if we get down the line and want to do any of those projects, it is covered. And so I think that you guys should know that, and everyone in the audience should know that. We didn't name any individuals, and it didn't name any individuals. Well, one of us is 1 and 2 kind of got mentioned, but other than that, there aren't any names. And so what you want to do, though, everything you just said and everything you just went over, every last one of them, they are covered in here.
Senator, there's a matter.
Madam Chairwoman?
Yes. Ms. Armstrong?
Hi, thank you so much for acknowledging me. One thing that we might want to consider is this document probably and should have a section for public comment, and an option would be for us to accept the plan as it is named, the West Valley Plan, as a public comment, and just include it in public comments, not as part of as the official directive of the document, but as public comment, so that the community would feel like their document is being recognized. And it doesn't put it in the action portion, but it does put it in the public comment portion, and that would allow our board to respond to that public comment by just including it. If I make a public comment at a meeting, those public comments, my name is accepted in my comments. So their name is being accepted, and their comments would be that they want us to know what their plan is, and we just accept it as a public comment. That's all.
I think my only concern with that, Board Member Armstrong, is that for being a government official, we're precluded from commenting or taking action on public comment, and so it'd be like almost words going down the drain.
Thank you.
If you will, that would be my only concern. I understand where you're going, having that particular section, but I just think that we just don't want to discourage the community. I'll use for a disclaimer, if you will. I believe it was 2012. Councilman Barlow, you and I believe we were treading upon graduating from UNLV with our master's degrees. And my study group selected the North Valley group to go in, and that's where our graduation project was at with North Valley. They were very gracious enough to allow us to come in and do our graduation project workshop with them to do this whole layout. And at that particular time, if somebody can put their phone on mute, please. Okay. All right. And I think at that time, I just remember saying to the class, this is the beautiful thing about a plan, is to dream big.
Yes.
People will laugh. People will say that it'll never come to fruition. But dream big. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll be floating among stars. Here's a community that's been studied. Here's a community that's been tried and tested, and grants have been written to study us again. And so dream big. Now, if you don't get a bank over there or a hospital, you might get something else. So I just, Board Member Armstrong, I'm just hoping that there's a way that we can not discourage community input, that as we all walk away from this plan, that we all can have something that it will give us some motivation to be able to work with and say, hey guys, all right, we have a plan, let's start here. Okay.
If I may,
hold on 1 second, Board Member Armstrong. Councilman Barlow granted me a couple of his minutes, so I'm just trying to use the last 30 seconds. I don't know where those minutes came from, but I'm just going to try to use them. Thank you, ma'am. But at any rate, it's almost like the beautiful work with your leadership and Councilman Barlow's leadership of what's happening on the west side of West Las Vegas, the bananas over in the F Street corridor there. I mean, and now the official historic West Side School groundbreaking, the beautiful work that's taking place on that side of West Las Vegas. And then to be able to know that there's a lot of possibility that could happen over there on what's been labeled as the most dangerous corner in America, carrying MLK, the possibilities of what can happen. And just think, as we continue to go around this neighborhood here and start moving more so inward, if you will. I mean, there are a lot of great possibilities, and so I just hope that we can all come up with a plan here, folks, that we can be proud of and that we all can work together, because I don't know of any other community around the valley that's as unique as this. You cross the street here in West Las Vegas, you go on the other side, you're in North Las Vegas, and we have an opportunity to do something great. Other communities are doing it, and this is our time now to do it. So I hope we don't let a few little lines and a few little words separate us from creating a plan that I believe generations to come will be proud of.
Madam Chairman, may I say a few words? Madam Chairman?
Yes, go ahead. Wait, what, Mr. Collins, Board Member Armstrong, did you have your comment?
Well, my only concern, I think, was addressed by, I'm sorry, you all, I'm using rather severely, and I'm trying my best here. Board Member Atkinson spoke very eloquently about the art plan already having the majority of the issues that are covered without naming North Valley. In my comment about including plans into the appendices was to make sure that in addition to our covering through the input of the city of North Las Vegas, their overview, that we would have it in both places. You have the city of Las Vegas' comments and their overview, and you also have the plan from North Valley, so that neither entity is ignored, neither entity is overlooked, and neither is disrespected. Now, I'm only one voice, and I will definitely have respect for everything that has been said. I just want to make sure that we don't overlook anyone, but that we also don't disrespect that we do have a relationship as a board with the entities, and we want them to stay on target to fund and work with the community on these projects. That's my only concern, that we just act as collaborators and not become polarized.
So I just, thank you, Board Member Armstrong. I just want to make this final comment before Mr. Collins speaks, and then we try to move to adopt this plan. It's not that, as a member of the strategy committee and chair of the board, that I somehow don't believe in what Commissioner Weekly said are big dreams. I do believe that tangible dreams, and I don't want to disappoint someone and you put a dream on the table and we can't achieve it in a timeline that you think it should manifest. Because what if 3 years from now it doesn't happen, and then you're like, what happened, where'd it go? And so we're prioritizing, we're working right on all of our lists, which top of the list, Buena Vista 1 and 2. And so there are other long-term projects, and I just think that to avoid people getting disappointed in their hopes up when it's something that, if you've seen change happen, change is like, it took 2 years, almost 3 to 4 years for F Street to manifest itself. And it's not to say that any of the members on the board are not in for the long haul, but it's about also what are the achievable things that we can do, right? And so I'm mindful of that every day of the week, because I don't need anybody, hollering at me on the corner saying, what happened to my amphitheater? And I say, well, I never had the money, didn't find the money. North Las Vegas wouldn't fund it because it has to come from somewhere. So it's not that I am trying to discourage anybody I just want achievable things that we can actually show progress with, and that's my only stake in any of it. And maybe it's been confused with lack of interest, but that's not the case. Because or else I wouldn't have sat down for a couple of months and tried to come up with a document with a whole bunch of other strategy members. So that's my final two comments, and then Mr. Collins, and then we're going to move to try to wrap up.
Let me say, Senator Atkins, no, I'm not going to bite your head off, anything like that. No, that's, but here's friends. Of course we are. We're going to be friends when we leave.
That's right.
but I have the right to disagree, and that's why we're friends. Now, there's no one. You mentioned somebody's name. See, my name is not. Anybody's name is not alluded to North Valley. The only objective the only reason why I got involved with this is simply because Carry Arms was an eyesore, and it sat there for years, and nobody said that. Well, it's nothing. Nobody gonna do anything about it. And so here come some people out of the community. Let's just get over here. And other individuals who says, we think that we could put this together and we think that we can make a difference. And sure enough, the first thing, Carol Home was torn down when nobody said that it wouldn't happen. Now, they went out and raised the money, they went out and did everything, they had the boots on the ground, they did everything. And to get that project where it is now, while everybody else was asleep. And lo and behold, now what you're saying is, we cannot adopt North Valley into a plan that that we didn't have. See, the reason why I told Senator O'Neill that she says last Saturday, actually had I completed the program I have now, but when I started reading this document, it was something that we had back in 70, 68, 7. It was called the Southern Valley Economic Development. That was before President Clinton designated these nine elements for the enterprise zone. All of this was done before it was gerrymandered for the west side, which is over there where Barlow's is right now.
And that was born, Mr. Collins, so I wasn't aware of the document. It was before I was born. I wasn't even alive.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I'm giving you the history. That's exactly why I'm bringing you up to speed on what went on. See, it was Southern Valley Economic Development instead of SNEC. That came into being in 2007. So for this individual here, along with the other individuals in North Las Vegas, who got together when Carry Arms was just an eyesore, and got Carry Arms where it is now, and there's nobody I know named. Only thing we were saying is, if you adopt anything else, and you have adopted other things into this document, then why not adopt North Valley? And let me say this, if North Valley cannot move and develop this, what have we lost? Nothing.
So just real quick, so would this be a compromise if when you look at page whatever, what is that, page 25, and it says second line on the chart, it says Buena Vista Springs 1 and 2, right? You put a nice comma, okay, comma right on that line, and then it says North Valley conceptual concepts. I don't know what it would say, but comma North Valley. Well, it's not a plan.
Just put Buena Vista 1 and 2 and North Valley, and that'll take care of the whole thing.
That'll take care of it. We can. All right. Go ahead, Senator Atkins.
My only question to that is, because this is a document, and this is a document that we keep saying is conceptual, and that some of the things in there have not been vetted. So if we put this in, and then there is future action, because we're referring to this plan, do we have to accept the plan as a whole? That's kind of where I'm hung up. And wait a minute, Mr. Collins. And second, I wanted to address Ms. Armstrong's question about public comment. I certainly believe that everyone should have public comment, but public comment is also a part of the record. So that their concerns are going to be a part of the record, and they will always be a part of the record. So let's just make that clear that no one's trying to make sure folks aren't heard, because your comments will be a part of public record. But I just, and if you all understand that, based on what Chairwoman Neal was saying, that the plan still could change.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So why not what I'm saying? That's exactly what I'm saying. It can still change. So if
but you're missing my point.
Senator, this is not a final document. And you have to go to the legislature. You're going to go to the legislature, and whatever's not in here, you won't put it in. So why not put North Valley in here now? And if it
because Mr. Collins, you're talking about a specific plan. These are not specific plans that we're talking about. We're talking about mixed use. That's a whole bunch of different things. We're talking about logistics and distribution. That's a whole bunch of different things. These are not concrete plans. You're talking about a concrete plan. That was my only concern. I don't care what we do with it. If this committee thinks that it's good for it, I'm okay with that. I just was explaining my concerns. So we don't have to debate all night. I get that. That's just my concern. So we can do what we have to do with it. Go ahead. I think Attorney has something to say.
That works. Just real quick, because I just want to, matter of fact, I don't even want to muddy the water anymore, all right? So, go, the attorney for the city, just go ahead. Because I think you guys, we're doing the, like I have the legislation in, but the document has to be flexible in terms of, we have to have some priorities. We have to have ability, funding. We have to have the cities coalescing and collaborating with us, because they're the municipalities. And the plan is referenced in the bill, but it's not codified in the bill, because then we wouldn't be able to update it unless we hit every legislative session, which is not where we want to go, where we can only change the plan if we're in legislative session. So it is referenced as a document, but it is not codified under the statute, or won't be, because then we can only change it or do any additions or deletions every legislative session, which is not ideal. So I want to get that cleared up, that the flexibility of the document is dependent on our SNEC meetings and our ability to update based on need.
Don't you have that what you said now? Don't you have the ability to do that now?
Yeah, but for some reason I just wanted to clear it up, because I don't think we're on the same page in terms of when we go to the legislature, what is supposed to happen or transform.
Yeah.
And so, but we gotta go. And so, this North Valley language, Councilwoman Goings, can you please just address this North Valley? Because we need to make a decision, we need to make it now.
And I think,
and this is your jurisdiction, so
what that is encompassed into the SNEC draft already, in my personal opinion. We want you, we're not in no way, any shape or form going to start over. We are going to put you all at the forefront, and it is mentioned in there. If it's a compromise, if it's okay with the board, if it doesn't matter about the language, we can put North Valley next to Buena Vista 1 and 2.
An idea about this when you've done maybe.
And I'm just wondering, but see, I don't know, because ultimately North Las Vegas owns the land still. That's the fear, and I don't know if that language is going to make a difference to funding sources. I don't know.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to kind of knock it out the ballgame. I want to stay in the ballpark.
Right. Go ahead.
Chairwoman Neal, maybe what I've heard here from the board is a desire not to call out any particular people or activities, but at the same time, possibly acknowledge the work and the effort that has gone into some of the planning that has taken place in North Las Vegas. So maybe, Chairman Neal, along with your lines, you put that comma after one of Vista Springs 1 and 2, and then you say something like, which is a part of the conceptual North Valley plan. It then indicates North Valley has been a part of this process. It also indicates that this is the blend of Vista Springs 1 and 2 is just one portion of something that they're bringing forward to the city of North Las Vegas, who owns the property. And it also puts their name into the document, which sounds like it's pretty important to the project component. So maybe that's a compromise you can think about, or leave it out altogether.
So is that a compromise that's manageable? Can we take a motion on that? I mean, because all of the things that you want are already listed under the project programs and activities. What you want are specific things, like you're like parks, amphitheaters, and the senior center, which already exists on the county side, directly across the street on MLK and Cary. It's been there for a long time, so that would be an expansion project. The senior center, I mean, you don't have a lot of space for park behind Walker. There's all of these other things, but when you talk about mixed-use development, retail, all of that falls in. So does housing. It's all a part of mixed-use development. That phrase encompasses all of that.
I just want to make sure, I like the compromise that the attorney just came up with. I don't think the board may not understand the residents of the community. Monthly since 2006, they have not given up. When they were told by the city of North Las Vegas, oh, it never happened. You cannot tear down Cary Arms. It's owned by a private owner. You guys are crazy. And we complained about how all the drugs, the gangs, the killings, you named it, it was happening over there. And the residents continue to meet time after time, not just with the city, with the county, to the council meetings, to the commission meetings, to you name it, all the way to the governor's office, including Harry Reid. And they have continued to do this for 8 years, every month. And by that effort, what happened? Crime went down 38% in our community because Cary Arms was torn down. Property values in our area have tripled because of what those residents have done since 2006. We have hope again with Windsor Park. There was no conversation with Windsor Park about how we were going to get our neighborhood back together and go forward. We're actually attracting banks that want to come in and invest in our area now. We have hope in our community because of North Valley leadership team and those residents that stuck to it when they were told, you're crazy. Not only that, us as a group that had to stick together from different backgrounds and nationalities and churches have come together, and we're seeing something that's getting ready to happen so big it's going to affect the next 6 generations coming behind us, because somebody had the audacity to have a dream, and it's called North Valley. North Valley can revitalize this whole entire area by being the heartbeat, because we're in the middle of the city. We're not on our knees begging the government to come in with their government money and help us. We're saying we're going to stand up in our own community and help ourselves. We can rebuild our own community. So part of that, when we found out, we're in the SNEC zone, it's important for North Valley to be added into a document that will affect what's going to happen in the future revitalization of that area. Yes, it's important that North Valley is there. Not just, because it's somebody's name, it's because it's a hard work, time and effort and sacrifice went into what you see now when you drive to Martin Luther King and Cary, which was not there a couple of years ago. So that's the past. Now I'm looking to the future. We're talking about revitalization. We're talking about going to the moon, shooting for the stars. So to me, with this being a draft plan, it shouldn't be a big deal that if we put North Valley in there, because they put too much hard work and sweat. If you put us in there, that's wonderful, because that means you're one of our allies, and we'll be working together with you as a community to get our community fixed. If you don't put us there, we're still gonna go forward. We're like a phoenix, and we will rise out of those ashes. So if your attorney or your city council people or the representatives up here don't want to include North Valley, that's okay. We still going to continue to go on, but I do believe there's a compromise. And we met it maybe an hour and a half ago. And the compromise is go ahead and add North Valley to your draft after Buena Vista 1 and 2.
Okay, so,
Madam Chair,
go
I
ahead.
move that we add North Valley to Buena Vista 1 and 2, to Buena Vista 1 and 2. That is my motion at this time.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second on the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, seeing none. Jeff, you have that exact language?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that. So on page 25, we're going to go Buena Vista Springs 1 and 2, comma, North Valley.
No,
No.
there was exact phrasing which was,
Which is a part of the conceptual North Valley plan.
Which is a part of the conceptual.
okay. So, who's ready to approve?
Madam
No, yeah, I need to make a motion for the approval of
Madam Chair, I
the,
make a motion to approve all the addendums to the Southern Valley Enterprise Community Economic Development Plan.
the second draft.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt. I received some information from one of the members of the audience that I wanted to read into
Okay, go ahead.
as well. Received the following from Mr. Stan Washington, and he has requested on page 17, goal number 1, objective D, add foreign direct investment sources.
Page 17?
Yes, page 17.
The blue copy.
The blue copy?
Page.
No, go to the blue
Oh,
copy.
wait. Yeah, that would be, hold on.
Oh, it's
No,
on
not
page 18.
It would be on, okay.
Page 18.
Yeah, under the bulleted items that are on the bottom of page 18.
You said adding what?
Add foreign direct investment sources.
Foreign
Direct.
Investment
investment
sources.
sources.
So, yeah, I need to be clear on the legality of that, right? Like,
Chairman, he's probably talking about the visa, EB-5 visa program. That's what he's talking about. Is that correct, Mr. Washington?
look that up.
No.
I'm not talking about EB-5, which is the immigration program.
Your name for the record, please.
Stanley Washington. I'm talking about foreign direct investment as outlined in the governor's economic development plan here, which calls for global outreach, starting with increasing global trade, and then ending here with, from the glasses, strategic initiatives, facilitate export growth, increase foreign direct investment in targeted sectors. Straight out of the government economic development plan, stated that.
Okay, we got it. Thank you so very much, sir. So I understand that it's in the government's economic development plan. And is it anything that would prohibit us or anything that you all foresee being a problem with adding this language? Because I don't have a problem with foreign money at all.
It's supposed to do the reading, it's what's the difference. Trade is what's being talked about on TV all day long, every day long.
Thank you, Mr. Washington.
This is what's the difference.
So, Mr. McGinty, so do you have the language that Mr. Washington has brought forward?
Yes, Mr. Vice Chair, I do.
Okay, and if there's no opposition, then I would move to add that to my motion.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there additional, did Mr. McGee, you got one more comment slid to you?
I do not have anything else.
She just, okay.
My name is Catherine Duncan. I'm with the Ward 5 Chamber of Commerce. I'd like to add a threat on page 9. The University of Nevada, Las Vegas determined that racism is one of the major threats to economic development in the SNEC area. So we have to look at plans to tackle racism as well if we want to get deeply into economic development. It is a threat. Also, we came in front of you, I believe in October, and proposed the Green Impact Zone. We'd like for that to be considered. And I believe Assemblywoman Neal suggested that Senator Atkinson would be the one to take the lead on whether or not we establish a Green Impact Zone over the SNEC area. She said you would be the one that's most familiar with that, and she was going to bring it to you for...
Let's clarify that. So when was that, December 8th meeting, or was it before when you did the presentation on the Green Impact Zone and he wasn't here and the board, actually you brought the initiative to the strategy committee to talk about?
Actually, I was here when she...
You were here, yeah. So, yeah, okay. Let's just get this one under wraps right now. So we looked up what was going on with the Green Impact Zone and the other state, I believe.
Oregon and Kansas City.
Yeah, and from our understanding or basic research that they are debunked because it was such a high cost to run those type of programs, and it's not really pliable or something that can be done because it costs too much money. And it is not money that we have based on the priority needs of actual real development. And that, you know, when you look at other cities and they're not still operating under those programs, it just doesn't.
This doesn't require any funds from the government at all.
Who does require funds from?
This is private development.
Private development.
Yes.
Madam Chairwoman, if I can add, Ms. Duncan, I mean, she's totally right. I mean, we did do some research.
In Portland?
Yes, and they are all not being funded at this point. And Portland's not even. However, Chairwoman Neal, it's just an opportunity, right? I mean, no.
What it does,
that's the way I feel about it. It may be something that never materializes because it was gone on with them in other states. But other folks are doing some fair, I'm just throwing it out there.
well, this was proposed to us by the U.S. Green Building Council, Mr. Rick Van Diepen. And the Clean Energy Works program, in our understanding, is still up and running and viable. So let me just ask, after tonight, what is the process for bringing additional projects to this body? Are you encouraging every business owner that has a project to come in front of you and present to you? Or are you expecting the Chambers of Commerce to accumulate those projects and suggest them to you? We just need to know how we move forward. Is we have come to you on many occasions asking that the Ward 5 Chamber of Commerce partner with you so we can vet all these businesses that have so many wonderful ideas and bring them to you in a systematic fashion. And I think because you only meet once every 2 months, these need to happen all the time, and that's one of the goals of the Chamber of Commerce is to hear from businesses who want to be a part of the SNEC zone or have businesses that need support to bring them to you for your attention.
Okay, so we have the ability to update this plan. Our next SNEC meeting is not until June after the legislative session. We are not meeting during the legislative session. We still have our calendar. Do we even have our calendar for 2015? We just know that our next meeting is in June 12th, right?
I believe it's June 8th.
June 8th and June.
So our next question is, when do you anticipate applying for the EDA planning technical assistance that goes along with putting this plan into making it a plan? Because right now,
after we approve tonight, right?
The first step would be to submit the plan itself to the EDA for approval. If they recognize the plan, then you could proceed. Well, I take that back. You can actually get a planning grant to do a plan. But I believe the focus of this plan is going to be to get the plan approved and then pursue additional planning grants after that is completed, whereby you could do additional studies and or just various projects.
Yeah, my concern is that with the EDA process, if these projects are not identified in the SNEC plan, there's less chance of them being incorporated into the EDA planning process.
In order to pursue funding from EDA, you need to have the projects specifically identified within your plan.
Okay, so with that in mind, I'd like to suggest that we include the Moulin Rouge, the Historic West Side District, a tourism improvement district for the Historic West Side, the New Towns Haven, and a gaming and hospitality trade school in Harrison House.
Fabulous Ward 5.
You see, we've been working it out in Ward 5.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. And that is all inclusive in the...
and the Historic West Side District.
Absolutely, ma'am.
And I see we got the free trade zone in the language, but we did not get the tourism improvement district. And we need that specific language for the Starbond program.
Well, stand by, Ms. Duffy. In order to do that, a well-defined boundary must be identified and approved, which we currently do not have. As a matter of fact, Commissioner Weekly knows this firsthand, being that he dealt with it, I want to say on Tuesday of this week, Commissioner, when our Director of Economic Development, Mr. Bill Arndt, went before the County Commission to discuss and lay out the Tourism Improvement District for downtown. I'm not sure, because I didn't see the remaining of it. Was it, what was the recommendation from the Commission? It was just a update. There was an update. I don't think that's right because they didn't have to vote on it. But that item will be coming back before City Council. So once the boundary is established, then you'll have an opportunity to come and speak to make sure that the area that you are concerned about is within that boundary. And then therefore, once it's approved by the city and approved by Clark County School District,
Well, it goes before the council, and then once it leaves you all's hand to go for the state tourism.
And then the state tourism, thank you, Commissioner, for that clarification, for that it's a step. And so for that, you want to make sure that you're part of those conversations to make sure that the area that you're concerned about is within that overlay, and then you can bring it back for possible update or insertion into the SNEC. But right now, there's no boundary.
So
but it is in the process.
Is it appropriate then for this body to suggest that the historic West Side school neighborhood be considered a historic district for the purpose of the EDA planning?
Well, we don't need that to be a part of the tourism improvement district. We can create our own district and call it the West Las Vegas Historic Improvement District. So,
will that qualify us for the Starbond though? Will that qualify us for the Starbond program?
Well, that's something that we'll have to research. I don't have the answer today, but it's something that we most definitely talk about and see what the criteria need to be in order for any district to qualify for, example, a Starbond.
So could we include, so when it comes to funding opportunities, could we include the Starbonds as part of the funding opportunity for
Well, it's already part of any grant. We can apply for any grant or opportunity from an economic development right now, being that we are SNEC.
Exactly, but on page 40, you specifically identify funding opportunities. And so, as part of the EDA planning process, on page 40, we identify possible funding opportunities.
4 or 40?
40 and 41.
40 and 41?
40 and 41. So,
are you in the blue book or the white?
I believe my book is blue. And so, as part of the EDA planning process, we would have to look into planning for the Starbonds if we specifically identify those bonds, and we probably have a better opportunity of planning for them if they're in the plan.
40 is the appendix. What are you looking at?
Am I looking at the
It's 40 on the white page.
I think it's 40 on the white page.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong.
No, she's in the
No, she's in the blue.
Mr. Vice Chair, maybe if I can clarify, this is a list of existing incentives that are, as a reference. So this is not anything that we're working towards. Now, if you were looking for a place to include star bonds, on page 18, Objective D, under secure funding, is engage public and private sector resources to research and identify funding and investment opportunities that the district may qualify for and pursue, such as, and we've got a bulleted list right there, kind of catch-all.
Right, it's just a catch-all for everything. I mean, so we're not being exclusive because we have these bullets here. This is just examples of areas that we can identify to go after funding sources, to include star bonds. Okay, great.
Put that in there then?
No, because on the bullet on page 17, it says leverage existing incentives, currently available. So they're currently researching or looking at what they have, what they can change. So why do we need to be more specific? They're currently doing that action, and it could become an incentive that we can use once they define the boundaries.
And this is all encompassing on page
So we're good.
18.
My concern was just, as we go through the EDA planning process, that we plan for certain specific activities and projects, and I thought that would be a specific goal for the EDA planning process. So that's what we're trying to get to that next step.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, so I think we're officially done with public comment. We never opened it for the second time. This was citizen participation. Do we have any individuals coming up? No. No. All right, wait, before we do public comment, let's adopt. Do we have any additional discussion from the board? No? Seeing none, I'm going to make a motion to adopt with amendments the Southern Nevada Enterprise Community Economic Development Plan. The draft plan, sorry. So
moved.
First, second from Councilwoman Goins. All in favor of adopting with amendments? Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, seeing none, we're done with that. It's officially adopted. Let's move to public comment number 7.
Thank you very much.
Senator Washington, I want to go ahead and just take this opportunity to go ahead and now inform and give comfort to the board that the business of foreign direct investment is something that is germane to this particular sector and what we should be paying attention to. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the tactic that the GOED's office has basically put out for people who are looking to go ahead and do with foreign direct investment. It says, unlike most other states, Nevada is directly involved through GOED with matching Nevada businesses with foreign investors. This unique asset provides a competitive advantage for Nevada and will be leveraged through the development of regional global engagement strategies and sector plans. GOED will encourage strategic initiatives by region and by sector and will effectively utilize this asset. In addition, GOED will ensure that the Nevada international representatives are deeply familiar with the state's targeted sectors and clusters opportunities. GOED direct involvement with FDI will generate additional funding options for Nevada businesses seeking to expand and for new businesses that will begin here and relocate from other states. So that means that Mr. Hill's department represents a resource for this area. We can go ahead and now use their funds to go ahead and bring in outside investors targeted this area to bring about the number one objective of the SNEC board was to increase funding. And that's why the funding sources that we were talking about, the one we can directly get help from directly from our existing government is this right here, and we have many foreign investors who would like to come in and be a part of this, particularly from Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next public comment.
John Johnson. I just wanted to make a comment. What we've seen today with the Winslow group, or excuse me, the North Valley group, is that, when you start specifically naming names and, specifically doing programs where it's already general, then you open up a Pandora's box. So originally in 2007, when this board was developed, the two residents was picked and recommended jointly by the Clark County Commission, the city of North Las Vegas, the city of Las Vegas. In 2009, it was changed through legislation. It was Senate Bill 304, and it changed the residents' participation to be recommended and selected by the Stop the F Street closure. So the F Street closure and opening it was very important, but it kind of left the other segments of the community feeling like they were put on the background. And I think that's why, they were advocating to specifically put their name in there, because it's been done before. The F Street closure, Stop the F Street closure, was a citizens initiative, and they obviously lobbied the legislators to change the language. So when you do it to one group, the next group is going to answer. And a question that I have, which is very important, I think, for me, is, in reading the legislation, it says that it's 3-year terms. So specifically for Chairwoman Dina Neal and Senator Calvin Atkinson, I'm curious to know when you guys' terms are up, and hopefully it's not up this year, because with the Republican-controlled, House and Senate, then, you guys may be replaced. And I'm just curious to know, are you guys up for,
I can answer that because I sit on the Legislative Commission. We've already been reappointed.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you guys, that's it.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to make... Oh, okay, we have one more. All right.
For the record, Ken Evans, President for the Urban Chamber of Commerce. I know the hour's long, so I'm going to be very brief. Short and sweet. I'm happy we've made it through this process. Thank you for involving the Urban Chamber, but more importantly, some of our members that have professional backgrounds that lend themselves to contributing and providing input regarding development. So we welcome the opportunity to continue to do that, so that we take the plan from being a plan to actual implementation, pending what happens in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any additional public comment? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Can I get a second? Second by Councilwoman Cohen. All in favor? All right, thank you.